No, no gavel. I'd like to call the Alexandria City Council special council meeting to order. Nancy, can we do the roll call?
Mr. Lawson, Mr. Fowler,
Here.
Mr. Johnson,
Present.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Silver, Mr. Hobbs, and Mr. Marshall.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is to hear from the administration to discuss StarTech lease agreement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Pody is here in the audience with the Chamber. We had a situation arise with regard to receiving a second amendment to the Economic Development Award Contract and Agreement. They're usually called EDAPs with the state, which is a fancy way of saying a cooperative endeavor with the City of Alexandria and the state of Louisiana for economic development purposes. This pertains to StarTech, with which we're all very familiar. They had an original agreement that was pursuant to ordinance number 281-2003. That ordinance authorized the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with 4 Malley LLC for land and improvements in the Power Center Mall complex. Part of that language allowed the mayor to sign any other documents that were needed to effectuate this purchase and we believe the EDAP agreement. In other words, there was a purchase contemplated, but along with that would have been the grant award from the state that involved some significant money, $1.2 million. We have found ourselves in a situation where, having just received the agreement, we're running out of time at the end of the year, and so we needed some authorization from this council to act on this ordinance. It is the opinion of legal, Mr. Trey Gist, who is now out of town but looked at it earlier. It is the opinion of Chuck Johnson and Ms. McGills, who have all reviewed this, that this original ordinance would have authorized this to be done, but out of an abundance of caution and for the public's benefit, we have asked the council to come together in this meeting to issue what will be numbered resolution number 8318-2007 to make it clear that since you have the authority to express your legislative will, that it always did embrace being able to sign any of these agreements, and including this new agreement, that you ratify it, wish for it to happen, and if we have to pass an ordinance later, we'll do it. Yes, sir.
Second. Move to second. Any discussion?
I don't know. I'm agreeing. I wasn't here in 2003, but the 1-2 is this is their grant, the concept. Is that what
That's already been done. What has happened? What has happened is this agreement allowed us to move forward, and StarTech makes a promise in its exchange to get what's happening done. They have to employ so many people. They had a goal that was set. There were many different reasons, some of which ironically are good reasons, that they didn't quite meet that goal. They were asking for an extension of 1 year. So instead of it sunsetting December 31st, 07, what you will be allowing me to do and sign is to sunset it December 31st of 2008. All the players have met and agreed. The president and I talked about it yesterday evening or so, and we think this is very necessary. You're talking about losing, Mr. Silver, considerable jobs that StarTech has as a call center here. We think this is in the best interest of the citizenry. If you look at it in a cost-benefit of weighing it proportionately, the benefits greatly outweigh any concerns about extending the contract for 1 year.
is the future prognosis pretty good in that with their remaining?
Mr. Pody, why don't you come and
The StarTech appeared, the administrative group from StarTech in Colorado appeared on the 12th of December before the LEDEC board and asked for this extension for 1 year, which basically would fulfill their obligations to create a payroll of approximately $4 to $6 million annually, and they needed this extension to extend that. They would have been able to do that if they could have hired 400 employees. They really had problems hiring up to 400 employees. They're at about 300 now, give or take a few. They would hire another 100 tomorrow if they can find them. They really just can't find adequate employees. And I've encouraged them to raise pay, and I think that they could do that. This has been one of their better facilities, and I think it will continue to be. The administration that I visited with at that time in New Orleans said that they did intend to maintain this facility, and they have invested about $8 million in this facility when we were able to get the grant, the city, of $1.2 million from LEDAC. And this is basically to extend it 1 year. I think they're a good company. They offer jobs to many people that are unable to get those in other areas. And I wish we could find them another 100 to be another 100 people working as soon if we could do that. And we are working with them trying to do that. But I encourage you to do it. And I agree with the mayor. I think he had the right to do it, but he just out of precaution wanted to make sure that the legislative body was in agreement with him.
And Mr. Silver, the new agreement, the amendment is only a 2-page amendment to the original agreement, which I hold here. The original agreement commenced October 3rd, 2003 and went through December 31, 2007. This simple 2-page addendum under the performance objective states only this: the company shall by December 31, 2008 employ 400 new employees for 400 newly created positions at a total annual payroll level of not less than $6,892,000, which is consistent with what Mr. Pody just outlined, and that they have to do that for this December 31/08. So you're just extending it. I am aware from talking with Mr. Hess, Mr. Pody, and others that there were some significant problems in terms of having qualified folks trained and ready. We've encountered that, as you know, across the region, and it's something we're developing along with Ms. Jennings and CAP and many others, we hope in 08 to address some of these workforce development needs and make sure that we have a qualified workforce. Everyone's experiencing it. Again, this is needed and is justified in terms of proportionality for the city of Alexandria, in our opinion.
This car, go ahead, I'm sorry.
They also give us 15,000 a month, they pay us.
They pay you, it began at 120,000 per annum. Now, I do not know exactly if that's still in the agreement, but my point, it's an investment. The city invested some dollars. We got some dollars from the LED, and it's giving you a return. It's a great investment for the city, jobs and rent. But the mayor speaks to a problem we've got, and I'm looking at some things of trying to promote how we get people to move to our community. And we need several hundred people to come into our area as a workforce, and we've got to work on that as a future. Yes, sir?
I mean, everybody knows the problem, they can't pass the drug test.
One of them.
Well, that's one of them. And also there's a little skill in handling the customer service, and it's a very stressful job. They normally the calls they receive there are people with problems with their telephone. They service telephones, cell phone, and most of the time all the problems they are ones that are billing problems or something. Somebody's got a problem, and the burnout rate's pretty heavy in that area with that company.
Mr. President, we have, I've talked with CAP and certainly with Elton, and CAP has identified some issues that you can have programs where you can have people come in and they fail. We're not talking about drug tests now, we're talking about tests to see if they have the aptitude and skills to do it. They can fail that test, and they have things in place in companies that can allow them at the company's cost to train them, and they can go out and take that test and they'll pass it right away. We're having a problem, and you know this, we've talked about it, with getting people to do the follow-up to go get the training and do it. And when I say the turnaround's right away, I mean they can fail the test, take the class within the same day, and they can pass that section that gave them trouble, but we're having trouble keeping people in the chute, so to speak, to get that done. And that is a specific item that Ms. Jennings has been tasked to work on, to follow up, to mentor and make sure that we're following people through the process. I know the chamber is very aware of it, and CAP has some ideas that we hope, Mr. Ranson shared some things with me about it just 2 days ago or yesterday, and we hope that we're going to be able to do some better partnering in 08 to address that problem.
Mayor, Mayor, we had asked at one time that rent would be put in a special fund for economic development. I don't know if they do it.
I don't know the answer to that.
I know you got bills in economic development, but we looked at that as a tool of, do some funding. wish that we move in that direction, we could put some money in economic development.
With his budget, I'm sure he would love to get some money in there.
And we've been doing that since we started, so we actually do it.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
look at
so
that.
far, we talked very much longer, I'm gonna be against it.
Talk
Call
yourself
the
out.
question.
All in favor?
Opposed? We need to do a roll call, right?
No, we don't need to. Just,
It's
you just did.
unanimous.
That's
I know
it.
we're doing.
Someone move.
Merry Christmas.
Nancy, you need.